Then after creating a folder, what you should do, if you haven't installed the Git yet, install the Git, which means Git Windows install. So you should install this Git. And if you haven't installed the Node, you should install. What is Node? Node is a runtime environment for JavaScript. Okay, this is a runtime environment. Node.js is a language, like JavaScript is a language, and Node.js is a runtime environment we use to run JavaScript inside that. Okay, it is based on Chrome V8 engine. So you can download, like I am on the Mac operating system, so I use Brew. But if you don't know, like if you are on Windows, then you should directly download and just install it. And after you have installed it, open your terminal. And if you are Windows, I know that you will know you are not having it. Great for developers, yeah. Cool. Sure, nice. Welcome everyone. So I was saying that go into the terminal and you should see Node -v. Then you should see the Node version. It means that Node is installed nicely and perfectly. And then you should see, if you install the Node, then npm will be installed automatically with it. Okay. What is npm? npm is a package manager. So here is a thing. We are developers and we rely on other developers' code. So if you want to copy and paste other developers' code into your code base, that's totally fine. Because we are building all of our applications by using others' code. Okay, we basically don't do anything. We just copy and paste. Okay, so here is the thing. We use a nice thing like npm, pnpm, yarn. These are all package managers. Package managers means library managers. So there are a whole lot of libraries which we will use inside our project. If you see, React is also a library. React is also an open source library and we are using it. So basically we are copying and pasting others developers code. So it's totally fine. You shouldn't have afraid of copying and pasting other developers code. You should try to Google as much as you can, and that's how you will learn how to become a better developer. Okay, that is a thing to become a great developer, and that's how we do. So if you are working in a software company, if you found any bug and then you are not able to solve it on your own, then what will you do? You just Google it and you try to figure it out. And if you still haven't found it, then what you will do, you will post on Stack Overflow about your question that I have this question. Okay. If you have Yarn package manager, that's fine. If you have npm, that's also fine. But if you are a beginner, you don't know about what I am saying at all, just don't panic. We will just use Node and npm. Just install Node from this website. npm will be automatically installed, and then run npm-v, and it will show you the version of npm we are using. And please try to install this LTS, recommended for most users, because it is the stable version of this software. This is the latest and this is a stable version. Okay. So now as we have installed Node and npm, okay, then we will go install the Git. I hope you have installed all of these things. Now what we will do, I told you to create a folder. Go inside that folder and run npx create react app and name whatever you want it. Okay, so you can name your name, my name. So my name is Pranjal Portfolio, so I can name it like that. Okay, like this. It's fine totally. You can name anything you want. You can name it Elon Musk if you want. Okay, so npx create react app Pranjal Portfolio, and then we will click enter, like we will hit enter. So it will install all of these dependencies. What are dependencies? Other developers code which we will use inside our project. And it will install everything. It will set it up for us. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to worry much about it. Just keep following what I'm saying. If you don't know what I'm doing, just keep watching the video, and then you can rewatch it after the live stream is over, so that you can know the better picture of it. Okay, so cool. Awesome. So it will take a few minutes to get it installed. I have a fast internet, but it will still take some time because there are huge libraries which are installing now. So let's go. Cool. So now I think, okay, so this is installing, and let's set it up. So it will automatically initialize the Git repository. So what is Git? What is Git? Git is a version control system. And what is a version control system? So let's assume you are building your project. Okay. And inside your project, you have one line, hello world. Then you thought, no, hello world is not good. Hello, my name is good. So you will save it as hello, my name. But here is the problem. If you want to look back into your previous version of your file, like if you after some time you thought that hello world was good and I made a mistake, then if you have Git, if you have version control system, if you have something to control all the version, which is automatically saving all of those versions, then you can go back to it and then you can use it directly without having much headache. Okay, so this is what Git, and I am just giving you an overview of everything. We are not going deep into anything here because we want to make it as much as easy for beginner developers, and just like that. Okay. So now we have completed our thing. So we will go inside our directory, Pranjal portfolio. So change directory means go inside that directory, go inside that folder, CD. And now we will open it inside our Visual Studio Code. So code space dot and enter it. So it will open a Visual Studio Code where we can write our code. Okay. Here we will understand how React works, what are the basics of React, how should we approach building our portfolio, how should we think in React. That's the great thing. Like if you can think in web development, you can build anything. So thinking part is bigger than writing code. So I will teach you how to think in web development instead of directly trying to jump into writing code. Okay. So here is our basic boilerplate code, which is automatically generated by React. So I think I should like update the description so that I'm just updating description so that people can get to know what this workshop is about. Okay. Awesome. So I have updated the description so that people can know what is going around. So we have just created our basic directory or basic boilerplate code. Boilerplate code means the basic structure of our application. Okay, where we will write our code. That's all. Nice. Now we will run our code. What does running means? Okay, so it will compile our code. It will compile our code to JavaScript. First, it will bundle our code. What is bundling? What is compiling? You don't have to worry much about it. I will just give you command. You should run it, and that's all. Your website is live. Okay, that's what we will do. Nice. So this is our browser. This is the portfolio we want to build. Okay. So we will not write the basic, like the plain CSS inside this tutorial. Why? Because writing plain CSS is like not a productivity hack. It will reduce your productivity. And if we will use Tailwind CSS is a library, again library. We will use again some another library to help us to boost our productivity. It will boost our productivity by 10x or 20x. You will see how useful it is. Okay, nice, awesome. So if you let me, if you are okay, so I have pinned a message so you can get to know. Nice. So now our basic boilerplate code is ready. Now we are good to go. Cool. Yeah. Tailwind CSS is very similar to CSS. It gives us a productivity hack. Basically, you will see how we use Tailwind CSS. And if you even don't know CSS, then it's totally fine, because Tailwind, I will teach you directly Tailwind CSS. You don't need to worry about CSS anymore. We will learn directly Tailwind CSS, and you will see how easy it is to design our websites, design our web apps, and all of these things. You will see how to install Tailwind CSS and how to use it. Okay, so just stick to the video, just stick to live stream, and just watch it. It's better for rapid development, and development is always rapid because we want to ship our product fast, not do like time pass. Okay, so we also aim to boost our productivity. We always aim to boost how should we approach building our web apps and website. Okay, so now our aim is to install the Tailwind CSS. So what we will do, just go to Google and type Tailwind CSS install React. So you will land on the Tailwind CSS website, where you will get the commands and instructions to install Tailwind CSS inside your project. So you can just go here. So we have already created our React app. We have already inside our project. So we will just skip this step. Now we are on this step. So it will install this libraries, Tailwind CSS, Post CSS, Auto Prefixer. Then these are, don't worry about all of these things. Just copy this and we will go into it. We will open our terminal. So to open our terminal inside our VS Code, just click on here, up view. Then you should be able to like terminal, and then click on new terminal. Then your terminal will be open. And it is by default inside your directory. If you are not sure you are into the current directory, you should check it before running your any command. Okay, so you should run pwd, which means it will give you the current directory, which means you are in the repository, which means you are in the current folder in which our code has. Okay, so just check it, and it should match from this or your directory which you named it. Okay, now what we will do, we have copied the commands from there and we will just paste it. So what it will do, npm install. Npm install means install that library from the npm package directory. What is npm package directory? So here we will go. What is npm package directory? So if you search npm, you will find this website, npm.js. So it's like a huge collection of other developers' work, other developers' code, open source code. You can find here everything. Okay, so if you search here React, so you will find the React. Okay, and you can see the downloads, weekly downloads of React package. Okay, so it's a huge number. Okay, so it's the weekly download of React.js library. So React is a library to create user interfaces. Okay, so now we are installing the Tailwind. So you can search here Tailwind and it will show you the detail for it. Okay, so here are the details of this library, but you don't have to read all of these things. You should just go here and copy these commands, come here and open your terminal and just paste here npm install this, and you should see here the D, which means we are installing these dependencies as dev dependencies. There are production dependencies and there are dev dependencies. Both are different. So here is another thing to remember. There are environments. There are developer environment, there is staging environment, there is production environment, which means you are developing your web app on your local computer. So it is development environment, and you have a testing production, which is also called staging environment. Okay, so it is a staging environment, and where you will see, okay, so it is also production, and there is another environment which we will call production, and it is used by actual users. Okay, so these are the command, and we are installing these dependencies as dev dependency. If you don't understand what is dev dependency, don't worry, just copy and paste and hit enter, and it will do our work. You don't have to worry much about it. So, okay, so it has created a file which is tailwind.config.js. So you should see it here. It is here. Here. So it is our config file. Config file which means configuration. Configuration means settings for our Tailwind CSS thing. Okay. So now you should go here and follow this step. So it is saying that add the paths to your template file in Tailwind config.js file. So just copy here and go here, Control plus A or Command plus A if you are on Mac OS, then Control plus V, save it. That's all. So it is what it is doing. If you want to understand, I'm just explaining for a quick minute. And if you don't understand, don't worry for now. Okay. So it is like, it is pointing the content to source directory, which means everything which is inside source directory and which has JS, JSX, TS or TSX extension, go to these files and look for Tailwind classes and then convert it to plain Tailwind classes. So it is doing so, but you don't have to worry what it's doing. Just copy and paste and move ahead, because as you are developing web apps, you will learn automatically. Okay, so if you are just starting out, you don't have to worry much about them. You just can skip those steps and just follow along. Now we have copied this, and now what we will do, we will use this in our index.css. So we should somehow insert all the Tailwind classes, all the basic or utilities Tailwind classes to our React app. So go to the index.css, remove everything and paste over these three things, which means it will install the like basic boilerplate code of the CSS, which means now you should able to use Tailwind CSS inside our project. So Control plus save, go to app.css, delete this thing. We don't need it. We will directly use Tailwind CSS inside our JSX components. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now as we have Tailwind CSS ready to go, now we can move forward. Also delete all of these things. We don't need anything. We don't need boilerplate code. We will write code from scratch. Okay, we will write code from scratch. Now here, these are Tailwind classes, initialized, close it. We will also delete this app.test.js because we don't need to write test as of now. Just delete it. Index.js. What is this file? This file is just rendering our application, which is this application, to our DOM. Okay, so if you understood it, okay, great. If you don't, I am just closing it. So these are some extra files. You don't have to worry what are they. We will just focus on app.js as of now. So Control plus save, and as I told you, if you have watched my previous video, which I have also sent you a mail to watch the video of extension. You should install this extension, which is ES7 React Redux React Native Snippets. What it does, it automatically generates the boilerplate code to help you write code faster. Okay, so now we will go into app.js and we will write RAFCE. We will hit enter and that's all. That is our boilerplate code, and here we can write hello world. Okay, and then we will save it. So it's ready to go. Now we will open our terminal. Now we will write a command. So please see here. Now we will write the command npm run, and then we will say start. So where is this command I'm getting from? Okay, so this is the command you should be. So this is in the script stack start react script start. So to run anything inside your package.json, you should run npm run start or npm run build if you want to build the application. What does build mean? Build mean if you have completed your code on development environment and if you want to go production, you should use build command to generate a bundle to use for production. Okay, so now just use npm run start and it will start your application server on the development environment in our PC. So you have just run the command and now it should be visible. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So if you go here, localhost 3000, and now you can see hello world. It is visible, and this is our first web page. So congratulations if you are following along. You have created an application with ReactJs hello world application. Nice. Now we will close it, and we can change here, and it will automatically get re-renders over there. Hello world ReactJs, and if you save it, here you will see the ReactJs is rendering here. Okay. Awesome. So I think it's awesome. Now what we will do, I will try to make you understand what are we going to do, how should we follow it, what are flex, what is grid, what are use effects hook, and all the hooks in React. What are hooks basically first of all. Now I will open my terminal and then I will tell you what are those things. Cool. So we want to build our portfolio. Okay, so portfolio is just basically, assume this is our Chrome tab. So I think first we should understand the React basics, because this workshop is about React basics. And if we build the portfolio, we basically don't need any hooks or anything to build our portfolio. It is basic just JSX. And what is JSX? JSX are HTML in CSS, HTML in JavaScript. So if you want to write HTML in JavaScript, we are using JSX. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you should comment it out and then I will explain you. If you have any doubt, okay. Awesome. So HTML inside JS is called JSX. Now here is the thing. In the Chrome, but in the web development world, all we have is boxes. Okay, so it is our box, and then we have another box, we have another box, and inside we have another box. So all of these things are working as rectangles. So I will teach you how to think in rectangles to build our application step by step. Okay. Now here is the thing. Okay. So first we should, I told you to teach you is use state hook in React and use effect hook. These both hooks we are going to cover today. Okay. I will also teach you how to fetch an external API. How to fetch an external API. What is an API? An API is a thing that gives us data. Okay, so we have to write some text and images on our web page. Okay, so we are just basically building pixel by pixel. So we have to write some text and images there. So to write these text and images, we always can't use keyboard and always can't manually type those things, and we have to push this on production. So we use something called server. Okay, so what is server? Server is a computer sitting on another edge of the world, or on another, like on another home or another house, anything you want to say. So basically it's just another computer, and it is sending us some data, and we are using that data to render something on our website. So what is rendering? Rendering means showing. Okay, so we are showing the data which is coming from an API. So this is our computer. So this is our computer, and this is the app's computer, which means, let's assume the example of Twitter. So you are able to see all the tweets on your mobile app. You are able to see all the tweets on your computer screen. So where are from these tweets coming from? So these are coming from Twitter server. Okay. So how the server is sending the data? So server is sending the data using API. So API contains the data. Like API is a like a mediator between both of them. So API will say, server, give the data to me, and API will take the data and give it to your computer, and it should have some security between them. Okay, so it should have some security. So there is security between API, and there is security between client and server. So that it should be able to communicate to exact right server, and no one would be able to hack that server, because someone hacks the server, then all of the clients are gone, and all of the like application gone, or the website gone. So this is how all of these things work. So I will teach you how to use some API and how to show some data on your PC. Okay. Also, what I'm saying is, so we don't have a server, and we are not learning backend here so I can teach you how to build a server. So we will just use another server. So there are a lot of free open source server available on the internet. Okay, so we can use them. We can use their APIs. We can use their APIs to integrate in our application and use them. Okay, so you should see, like, there are some airlines. You purchase an airline ticket, so you are able to purchase one company. So like Vistara is an airline company, and you are able to purchase Vistara ticket from multiple apps. How these things going? So Vistara has a server, and Vistara is providing all of these different companies their API. So this is charging some amount to use Vistara API. So this is how this works. Okay, so I hope you understood what an API is. Now we will go and we will see first what is use state, how to use state inside React application, and then we will fetch the API to render some data into our application by using use effect hook. Okay, that's how we are doing today. So I think, okay, so it's totally okay. Nice. So use state is something. Okay, so first I have to disable my iPad here. Cool. So use state is a hook in ReactJs. Okay, so if you type use state, it should give you an auto completion, and hit enter. It will give you the basic use state, how to like initialize use state. And now click here. Just move your cursor to here and hit Control plus space, and just hit enter. So it will auto import it from the React library. Or if it doesn't, just go here and import here like this. Okay, and click save. and it is a, like I'm just teaching you, so I will teach you from number. So we will initialize our use state hook with 0. What is use state? Now I will tell you what is a use state. So in the JS word, you have heard about a variable. Okay, so what is a variable? Variable is thing where we store some values inside it. Okay, so clear your terminal by clicking on this here, and let's assume there is a variable x and we are storing the value 5 inside it, and you can get the value, but you can't update the value by like x dot update value. There is not a function over here. Okay, so what is use state? Use state, if you pass some value to use state, it gives you two things. If it gives you that value one, and it gives you a function to update that value. Here JavaScript is not giving that thing, that function to update the value, but in React we get the value to update. So it is like giving us an array which has two elements, set first, so we can name it random value, and we can set random value. So if you are able to see, we are using some convention, we are using some name convention. So as you can see here, it is random value and it is set random value. Okay, so the letter R and V is capitalized. Which case is this? It is Pascal case. Okay, so we use Pascal case to name our variable inside ReactJS application. So you should always follow this thing. You should always follow best practice to use Pascal case inside your application. Okay, so this is anything you can say. You can say anything. You can say club of horrors. Okay, you can say COC, and you can say set COC. Okay, you can say hello. No, you don't have to run npm start again and again, because it will automatically get re-renders. Okay, you don't have to worry here about that thing. Then set hello like this, hello and set hello. You can do this like, you can do like this. Okay, cool. So as of now, we can see this is a 0. And if you log to the console, in the JavaScript, we have a thing called console.log. So it is like printing some values to our. So I will explain you here. So here you can see console.log, and it takes anything. And if you give it to x, and it will print the x, the value of x. So now here we can see console.log x means 5. Same, you can see now the value of both the things, console, hello, and you can also print the value of set hello. You will be able to see what set hello is. You will be able to see the set hello is a function. Okay. Console.log. Console is not a function. Console dot, if you give it, you will see there are a lot of things here. Okay, console.warn, console.error, console.count, console.group, console.table. There are a lot of. Okay, so here we will use console.log. It will print those values. Click save. Here you will see, if you refresh this, here you will see the value of this thing. The value of hello is 0. And the value of, what is it? Okay, where is console? And the value of set hello is a function. You can see f here. So it is a function. Okay, it is a function which is given us by React, and we will use that function to update that thing. Okay, we can update it directly here. But it is not how we do in React, directly update here. So this is a important thing which I am going to tell you. Remember this. This is a section like about the return. Okay, so this is the section. It is filled with hooks. You should use hook. You should not directly use something like update some random value, and then you can doing update, because it will generate an infinite loop. How? Because React is all about re-rendering. If you update some value, it will get re-renders, and if you again update that value, it will go again re-render. So you have something to prevent that thing from re-rendering again and again. Okay, so to prevent that thing from re-rendering again, we use something called use effect. Okay, so use effect is a thing which we will use to make it like different from running. It makes us to like you should give it some dependency, and it will monitor the changes, the dependencies you have given, and then it will see that if the dependency has changed, run this code. If the dependency has not changed, don't run this code. So this is how to use effect works. So here you will see you should be able to generate this boilerplate code by installing this extension. Okay, if you haven't installed this extension, I would highly recommend you to install this extension. Okay, cool. So just import it, and now remove this everything, and now you will be able to see hello here. Okay, and now you can update the hello also here. Okay, set hello. So there is a thing called React is virtual DOM. We have one DOM and we have virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is something React uses to reflect the DOM. Okay, so all of these things are happening in virtual DOM, and virtual DOM will take care to update the original DOM. What is DOM? Document object model. Like if you search Google on DOM about it, so it is a document object tree. JavaScript HTML DOM, document object model. So everything in JavaScript is some kind of object. Everything in JavaScript of some kind of object. Okay. So now if you go here, we have set the hello to the string hello. Now if you log here, you would be able to see hello has two values. First, okay, so first here you will see. Let's run this code and let's see what is happening. Okay, go into React app, and let's give it hello, and this is inside use effect hook, and you can print here. This is, so you should pass the string here. This is inside this is outside of use effect hook. And click save. Clear all of these things and hit. This is outside of use effect. This is outside. So you see these are rendering 2 times because here we are using strict mode, something called strict mode. Okay, strict mode. So it helps React to like, it is used in development builds, so don't worry about it. Just remember that these things work like this. Okay, so if we are production, this will not work like this. This will work smoothly once. So once you refresh this page, first thing will run this thing. This console log will be printed. Then the use effect hook will run. This thing will be printed. Then it will set the hello to the string hello, and that it will print again the new hello, which means, see, because we are updating the hello from this thing. Okay, so now the new hello you can see here. So I hope you understood everything, but don't worry much about it. So just remember that use effect is something which takes care of running your code. Okay, so you can't run code here. Don't write code directly here. Don't write code directly here. If you want to write some code, write inside use effect, because that's how in React things work. We use hooks. Okay, Before we have something called class components, but as of now we use hooks. Okay, we have more hooks like use memo, use callback, use ref, but we are not worrying about that. We are only just focusing on use state and use effect. Okay, so now you will be able to see. So use effect run once. If the dependency array is empty, use effect will run only once. If it is not, like if you write hello here, now it is an infinite loop. How it is an infinite loop? Let me explain you. First, React will try to run this code. So React will go here, initialize the use state, initialize all the variables. Okay, then it will go here. Okay, it will find that nothing here, and it will run the use effect once after initial re-render, after first re-render. So it will print this thing. It will print this thing, and it will set the hello variable to something. And we are saying it to React that keep track of the hello variable. React is keeping track of hello variable every time hello variable is changed. Means hello state is changed. This use effect will run again. And we are changing every time use effect is run, and we are saying to use effect. So it is like a infinite loop. What is infinite loop? We should not use infinite loop inside our code. So let me give you example what is happening here. So first re-render. Okay. Then what will happen? Use effect will run, and it will set some value. Then again use effect will run. It will again set the value, and then it will again run the use effect. So it is kind of a infinite loop. So our application will crash here. Okay, just from a small mistake, just from writing hello here. Okay, so you should not do here. And let me give you the example how this infinite loop is running here. If you click refresh here. Okay, so here we are not updating it with some random value, but can we use single use effect for multiple variables? I don't understand your question. So here is the thing. Here we are not updating is somewhere some random value. Something is constant. So it will say that something is constant. But if we generate a random value here, like let's assume that we are setting some random value here. So in the JavaScript, we have something called math.random. Okay. So let's assume we have something called math.random. In JavaScript, it generates a random number between 0 and 1. So now set hello math.random. If you save it, now you see this is infinite loop. Okay, because the value of the variable is changing again and again. So that's, yeah, I have minimized the notepad. Okay, so this is why we should carefully use effect. We should carefully use everything in React. Okay, so you should understand every line of the code you are writing. Okay, just remember that thing. So now we will remove this thing. So this helps us in fetching the data from external API. So inside the use effect, fetch API. So it is the step. Okay, so if you are beginner, just do what I'm saying and you will be good to go. This is the basic thing we do in React. We initialize the state. We use a use effect to fetch some external data, and then we will return the data here. Simple. Initialize the use state, use the use effect to fetch data, and return the data. That's all. Now we will go and we will find a random API over here. Okay. Let me edit my some live stream here. Okay, so cool. So okay, so our application crashed, so I am not able to like do this. So I have to minimize this thing. My Chrome freezes because of this infinite loop. So you must understand what an infinite loop can cost you. Okay, that's the big thing we have here. Now what I'm saying is, cool, this is our local host 3000. We have set up our application. Okay, so just save it so that it will not get rendered automatically. Refresh it. Okay, everything is fine. Now we will use some external data to fetch some external API to fetch some data, and then we will render it. Okay, now so what API should we use? So there is an API called fetch random user. Yep. So this is an API, and this is an API. We can use it. Okay, so this is an API, and we will use it to fetch the data. So we use XCOs to fetch the data in React. Okay, we use XCOs to fetch the data in React. What is XCOs? It is again a library. Help us to fetch APIs to make requests. Okay, so if you search XCO, it's a great library. You should get it here. Okay, so you can see the downloads. You should able to guess if the library is good or not by looking at the weekly downloads of that package or that library. So now the weekly download is really huge. Okay, so just install it, copy this command, or come here and then npm install XCOs. We will use it to fetch that random API. So here we will say data. Here we will again initialize the use state hook, data, set data, and then we will say the data is currently empty array, or we can say which data it is giving us. It is giving us an result, and then in the result it has an array of person. Okay, and the person has all the details. Okay, so we are currently fetching an API from external open source openly available API. Okay, cool. So just copy this API. API means the URL. Okay, and now we will fetch this API. So, and then we will set the data, and initially the data is empty, so we will use an empty object here. Now we will run the use effect hook, and then we will fetch our API. Cool. Now what we will do, we will fetch that thing. So to fetch the external API, to fetch the data from external API, we will use XCOs. And to fetch the data, we need to make a function. So to make a function, use the function keyword. So async function. Let me write this function, then I will explain you what am I doing, how am I writing this function. Yes, XCOs is good for production. That's why it has a huge number of downloads. Otherwise, for development purpose, I don't think it would be that much number. Okay. So here, async function fetch random user, and then it is our function. Okay, async function, and then we will use like I am just writing my function, and I will explain you what do I doing here. Okay, and now await XUs. Okay, so we should import the XUs here like this, XUs.get, then paste this API, and then you will be able to see the data here. But first you have to call this function. Okay, so you have to call this function here, fetch random user, that's all. So here it is happening. We are using asynchronous function. What is asynchronous function? Asynchronous function, which meaning like you can do your other work and I am doing my work. So let me explain what I am saying. So user vector will run, it will call the function, it will find that it is an async function, it will wait. So the compiler will come to this line, and then not compiler, the code, the Node.js engine, the V8 engine will come to this line, and it will find that we are awaiting XUs.get. It will go to other code and it will run the other code, and this is running side by side. So it is asynchronous, and whenever it is finished, it will come back and run the code after it. So we are awaiting here. We are saying wait here until I get the data from this API, and then go after. Okay. Then we are console.logging the data. Console.log means printing the data into our console. What is console? You can go here and you should able to go into developer, view developer into Chrome, JavaScript console, and you will find the console here. Cool. Here. Now, if you go here, if you click save, you should be able to see the data here. See? So this is the data we have got from the external API, and this is the name of this random user, and this is a picture. This is picture URL. This is registered. Everything. This is the data, and this is in JSON format. What is JSON format? It is how we will communicate. So it is a format of data which we are using to communicate between backend and frontend. Okay. So we have fetched the data. It is like what is the name of this person? So name is Mrs. Mishka Dalvi. Okay, and if we refresh this, we will get another random person. You see here, this time we got Mr. Kabak as Mr. as anything who it is. So it's like giving us the data, and now we can render it over here. Okay, so first we need to get access to the data we have fetched. So we will set the data. So we will set the data here. So we should see data has info, data has result. So in the results, results is an array. So set data. Okay, so we have data, and data has results. Okay, data has results, and result is an array. An array has one element inside it. Okay, so results has one element inside it. So result 0, because results in an array. And then inside it, that's all we need. That's all we need. Then we can access all of those properties of this object. Okay, now we can remove this. Now we can console.log here to check what is data. Okay, so we can use console.log outside of any hook here. We should not use any function, any update thing, any set thing, or anything related to updating or manipulating to DOM or anything related to that. We can just use printing here. Okay, you can use printing here, or we can use console.log, warn error, anything you want. Now if you refresh this, now you will see initial over data is empty, and when it is fetched the data, it is giving us the real data. And now we can use it inside our application here. So now we can use here. So let's say what it has. It has name, and we can say here data.name, and data.name is again an object. Okay, it is again an object. Okay, so let me quickly grab my one window here. Cool. And it has first name and last name, so data.name.first plus data.name.last and title. Like this. Now we can use the picture also. Okay, so we will use a picture here. We can use a picture. Okay, image. This is an image tag. What is source? I will explain you each line I am writing here. Okay, so let me write first and then I will tell you what is all of those things. Data. So where is the picture? We need thumbnail, medium thumbnail. Let's use the thumbnail. Data dot. Okay, and here we can use this thing in the alt thing, and we should close this element. Okay, like this. So it is our image. It is the name of the candidate, and anything you want, you can write the email here. So to render, like to view that data or to render the data, you should use data dot. You should use those braces over here. Okay, these braces. That's how we are telling React that anything that goes inside those brackets is JavaScript, and run that JavaScript basically. So data dot what is email, data dot email directly. So it is how. Okay, we can write here email. We are not styling as of now, and we will style it. Okay, just bear with me. Email, username. We can say here. Okay, we don't need anything like this. You will be able to see this. Okay, what it is saying, thumbnail. Yeah. So until if we should return, like if the data is not defined, return division. Like we can use some loading thing. So we can say it loading like this. So if you refresh this, okay, what is saying? Okay, the picture or thumbnail. Okay, some pictures don't have thumbnail. So we should check it that if it has thumbnail or not. And to check it, we can use like this. Okay, now if we refresh this, it is again saying reading thumbnail. Okay, cool. So like this. I hope this should work now. No, it is. So we should check anything it has. So we can pass this thing to get to know that the data is rendered and it has some data inside it. Because some person may not have the last name, some person may not have the first name, like this. So we should use this thing. Okay, and then we use this thing. It means if it has, render it, otherwise not. Okay. So now copy it. Do it here again. So I think it will work. See. So first it is saying not a number, a null, anything. You can fix that thing. You can. That's why we use TypeScript, so that we can get to know what is coming and what not, and we can get to know, like if the data is not here, don't render this thing or don't view this thing. Okay, on ROM. So if you refresh, there is different name. Okay, cool. So you are able to see all of those things, and now you can style it. So basically, I have taught you what is use state inside this React thing, what is a use effect, how to fetch external API, how to use all of these things, how to do all of these things. Okay, how to install Tailwind CSS, what is React, and now you should be able to good to go to build your portfolio. So you should be able to good to go to build your portfolio. Okay, so if you are watching this video, please comment hello so I can see how many of are you